Welcome back to my Sunday meal prep series. And today I have something for you that can be an easy, quick breakfast or a nice low carb snack. These are my easy 5 ingredient keto low carb egg muffin bites, and they are totally customizable. So, the first thing I did was I preheated my oven to 350 degrees, and then I sprayed a 12 muffin pan with some nonstick avocado spray. I've really gotten into avocado oil. I like it a lot. It has a really high smoke point when cooking, and it's just a very neutral oil. Anyways, after I sprayed that, I'm going to get started on the eggs. We are going to be doing 10 eggs, and I was struggling this morning with getting shell in my bowl. You can always crack your eggs in a separate, smaller bowl to avoid this. And then I also heard that you don't get as much shell in the bowl if you crack an egg against another egg. So I thought I would give it a try today. And guess what? It totally worked. There's another egg kitchen hack for you. So after I got the 10 eggs in the bowl, I'm going to add this small cup of good culture cottage cheese. This is for creaminess, but this is also going to add a ton of extra protein to this already very high protein, low carb meal. And the cottage cheese just keeps the eggs from being dry when we bake them in the oven. Then I'm going to add a sprinkling of pepper and a small sprinkling of salt. I like to have a good amount of pepper in my eggs, but I like to go easy with the salt because the cheese has a little bit of salt, the meat has a little bit of salt, and so you can really overdo it very quickly. Then we're going to add a third of a cup of heavy cream. Again, this is low carb, and this is going to add even more creaminess to our egg bites. I'm telling you, I am very adamant that these not turn out dry because sometimes eggs baked in the oven can have a very dry texture, and that is not what we're looking for. So I'm just going to give this a really good mix to get that cottage cheese and that heavy cream really incorporated into those eggs. And now let me talk a little bit about how this is going to be a snack or a breakfast item. So if you want to really solidify its place on a breakfast menu, you could use bacon or you could use sausage. But today, I'm actually going to use turkey pepperoni. Now, if you're a pepperoni lover, that is not going to take away from your breakfast. You're going to say, yeah, I love pepperoni for breakfast. But if that's not your type of breakfast protein, then this would be a low-carb snack for you later in the day. This would be perfect for the afternoon when you're wanting something slightly salty, a little bit savory. So that's why I'm saying that these can totally be breakfast or they can be a low carb snack for you at any point in the day because of the protein that you put in them. What I'm doing here is I'm just stacking my turkey pepperonis on my cutting board, and I'm going to cut this into 4 sections. So basically, I'm going to cut them in half and then cut them in half again. So I'm quartering the pepperonis just so there's small bites in each one of these egg bites. After I've got them quartered and chopped up, then I'm just going to start sprinkling them into the muffin tins. And again, remember one of the other meal preps I mentioned, if you want to literally count out every single piece in every muffin tin, you can totally do that. But I look at recipe totals for the week. And so if you are going to consume these over the week, I'm going to give you how many carbs, protein, fat, and calories are in each one of these egg bites. So that's the way that we're going to do it because I know the total. But again, if you really want to count out every single piece of pepperoni, feel free to do that. I just totaled everything up and I divided it by 12 to get what every single serving would be. And I was going to show you a little bit closer up what exactly I'm doing. So I cut the stack of pepperonis in half. I know I've already told you this, but I just wanted to show you, and I cut the halves in half again. Now, if those pieces of pepperoni are not small enough for you, take your knife and just go through and just cut them again. You can get them as finely chopped as you'd like. And then we're just going to finish filling our muffin tins. I can just eyeball this and see which muffin tin needs a little more of the pepperoni. And I'm going to show you what that looks like so you can see how they're evenly distributed. The next thing we're going to do is our sharp cheddar cheese, and I am measuring this out for you. So I'm doing 1/8 of a cup in each muffin tin. So that would be half of 1/4 of a cup. So each one is going to get that much cheese. That way we can make sure our measurement stays right. And also that way I can make sure that every single egg bite is creamy and has enough cheese. And then our totals will all be the same at the end as well. I just wanted to show you exactly what that looked like with the pepperoni and the cheese. Now it's time to add our main ingredient, our star, the eggs. So I wanted to give them another mix because they've been sitting there for a minute. I want to make sure that cream and that cottage cheese is in there. And then all I'm doing is you can use a spoon, you can use a measuring cup. I think I started with the 1/8 of a cup measuring cup and it was just too small. So then I went to the 1/3 of a cup and that was perfect. You could use a 1/2 cup measurement. It doesn't matter. Basically, whatever you can use, you could use an ice cream scoop to get the egg mixture into the muffin tins, and you're just gonna fill them up to the top and make sure that all of them are even. And then after I poured the eggs into each muffin tin, I like to take my fork and just move the mixture around to make sure that the pepperoni and the cheese are totally incorporated and that all of the egg mixture is able to seep down in between that and mix it up really well. And then I noticed that there were air bubbles coming up, so there was space for more egg, and so I just topped them off. I like to take a paper towel and clean up a little bit of my mess and make sure all the egg is in there and all the cheese so that it doesn't get crusty or burn on the top. And we're going to put these in a 350-degree oven and set a timer, and we're going to let them cook for 30 minutes. And it couldn't be easier than that. So after they've been cooking for 30 minutes, I'm going to take them out of the oven, and I have to show you how beautiful they are. They puffed up and got really, really big and a little brown on top. Oh my goodness, I was so proud. You guys are gonna love them, so let me show you. And now that you know what they look like as a group, I wanted to show you what each individual one looks like. So I just took a small butter knife and then I went around the edges to get it loosened up from the muffin pan, and I put it on a plate, and I want to show you how just cute they are and how fluffy. They almost look like souffles. I mean, you can see the steam. This is piping hot and it is so fluffy, so soft, and so creamy. But I knew the true test would be, what do they look like and what do they taste like and what do they feel like on the inside? So I decided to cut one open for you and let you see this delicious filling. Finally, it's time to pack them up for the week, and these would actually go great in a large Ziploc bag, or you could do individual snack size Ziploc bags. It doesn't really matter. I actually was out of Ziploc bags today, so I'm just going to take them all and put them in glass bowls. After I put them in there, I'm going to let them cool down completely before I put a lid on them, and then I'm going to pop them in the fridge, and I can take out as many as I'd like for a snack or a breakfast anytime this week.